Welcome to the FitBiz Accelerator, your ultimate guide to launching, growing, and scaling a thriving online fitness business. I'm your host, Tobias Young. And whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, this podcast is packed with actionable tips, real-world strategies, and the insights you need to crush your business goals and build the business of your dreams. Now that you're here, let's dive in. Welcome back to the FitBiz Accelerator Podcast, where we help fitness professionals, online trainers, gym owners, and wellness entrepreneurs launch, grow, and scale businesses that create real impact. Today's episode is going to be a really important conversation because we're talking about something that affects almost every client, coach, and high performer, which is food, but not in the typical fitness industry way. We're not talking about crash diets and extreme restrictions and cutting out every single carb or eating the same boring meals just to prove how disciplined you are. Today, we're going to be talking about nourishment. We're talking about real delicious foods, sourdough, fermented foods, energy, hormones, mindset, and what is actually looking like to build a lifestyle that supports performance without making wellness feel miserable. And my guest today is Sara Goldstein, also known as the Bougie Baker. Sara's the founder of Bake Love to Me, luxury meets wellness brand that is redefining what indulgence can actually look like through all organic, naturally sweetened, baked, delicious goods. Her mission goes way beyond baked goods too. Make love to me, and that reminds me of Boys to Men. I'll make love to you. That's all from back in the day. Make love to me is all about helping people realize that wellness can feel luxurious, satisfying, realistic, and sustainable. And after dealing with serious health challenges, and including, kidney disease, chronic inflammation, hormone issues, burnout, Sara rebuilt her life through nutrition, real food, nervous system regulation, and sustainable lifestyle changes. And what started as her own journey turned into a rapidly growing wellness-focused food brand and an online platform that helps people rebuild their relationship with food, with energy, with health, with lifestyle. And she also teaches a sourdough masterclass where she helps people confidently make and incorporate fermented foods into their lifestyle without overwhelm, without restriction, or feeling like they need to become a full-time, baker overnight, right? And I love this conversation for our audience because so many people in fitness are underfueled, they're overstressed, and they're trying to force results from a body that is already running on fumes. They're training harder, they're pushing harder, but they're not actually nourishing their body in a way that supports energy and hormones and digestion and performance and recovery and consistency. So today, we're going to talk about moving away from punishment-based nutrition towards a healthier, more sustainable approach to wellness. We'll also get into Sara's whole entrepreneurial journey, how she built her brand, what fitness coaches can learn from her message, and why creating a deeper relationship with food may be one of the most powerful things we can help our clients do. Sara, welcome to the show. How about that for an intro?
Thank you. I love that. I don't need to say anything, Mel. I just need Weird Al to come in and do the parody for the I'll bake love to you.
Yeah. Remember that? You remember that song? Yeah. And Sara, I'm really excited for this conversation because I think your message is something that a lot of people in the fitness and wellness space need to hear. And before we get into sourdough and fermented foods and the business side of what you've built, tell us your story. Like what's going on in your life and with your health before Bake Love to Me was created?
Beautiful. Yes. No, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk more about this and get my message out a little farther. So before Bake Love to Me, I wasn't always like this. Most of my life, my weight fluctuated between, being healthy. I was never a skinny person, but I was always healthy. I had moments of being bigger, but in my mid 30s, early 30s, I started gaining weight. I realized around when I was like 34 that I was really unhappy and that it was not just diet and it was not just lifestyle and it was not just exercise. It was like everything. I started with an elimination diet. And I got rid of, that led me to a whole foods diet. So I got rid of anything processed. And I'm not perfect. We all feel like if you pigeonhole yourself and you have to stick to that perfect, it's just, then you're stressed again and then your body gets inflamed again. part of it is definitely being kind to yourself. But I woke up and I was 220 pounds. My kidneys were failing. My cholesterol was so high, they wanted to put me on statins in my early 30s. Yeah, they did a biopsy. I had chronic kidney disease, stage 4. Like that's pretty, they said it was irreversible. I was diagnosed with PCOS. I don't know if you know what that is. It was a hormonal condition and disease. And honestly, I can just keep going. The ailments were just as long as a CVS receipt. And so once I changed my diet though, the pounds started dropping, my body started regulating, and that was first. And then I started moving my body, and then my body really started liking it. So it was definitely, and then I left my ex-husband and my body was like, yes, queen. And I really,
I needed that.
Like, yeah, but it was all of it. It was mindset. Like, I don't think I ever would have gotten completely healthy again had I stayed in my toxic marriage. And I don't think I ever would have, it was all three. I had to be moving, I had to nourish properly, and I had to keep my mental health and prioritize me.
Yeah.
And it really
and that's
did.
Powerful.
Yeah. No, it took 6 months. My whole body regulated. Doctors couldn't explain what happened. And then I broke my back very badly shortly after I left him. And it was 3 different, like I literally broke it into 3 different pieces. And the doctor comes in. I went to the emergency room first thinking it was cancer because there was this giant ball sticking out of my back. And who thinks, well, that's my vertebrae? You don't.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I went to the emergency room thinking it was cancer. And they're like, no, babe, that's your spine. And then they sent me to a doctor who was shocked that I had as much mobility as I had. I was sitting up and perky. And he's like, I looked at your charts. I looked at your x-rays. I don't understand how you're walking and sitting and smiling. And I attribute all of it to everything that I learned on everything is, everything's connected. And if we can keep mindset and if we can keep diet, which is harder than it should be, I'll admit.
Yes.
And if we can keep moving every day, it's just huge.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that feeling of knowing something's off, but not knowing exactly what the answer is. And sometimes people are trying to do all the right things. They're trying to eat healthy. They're exercising. They're being productive. They're trying to stay disciplined, but their body is still giving them signs that something is not working. So when you started to rebuild your health, what were some of the first things you changed? Was it food, stress, nervous system regulation, lifestyle, or a combination of everything?
Yeah, no, it was everything. So I started doing daily yoga. And then I realized how much that helped my mental health and my physical health. Honestly, yoga was the fuse that lit it all.
Wow. Yeah.
I noticed everything. And then I started hiking and walking, and the pandemic hit, and I really took advantage of the free time. And I had been very a slave to TV for a couple of years, and I had really been slothy, and I wasn't happy. And my ex-husband was I don't want to say lazy, but docile man. And so we were just very sedentary. That's the word I'm looking for. We had a very sedentary life. It was, and we would eat fast food, and soda was always in the fridge. And I would make rich meals for dinner that like steakhouse dinners every freaking night because I can. Like, I'm a private chef, I have the skills. And so I have since transformed all of this, and now I can make anything with a healthy spin. That's like what I'm very proud of. So I want the steakhouse dinner. I do it. And I'm not saying that like a ribeye is the best thing for us every night, but once in a while with the right sides, I make potato wedges with an avocado oil that they're baked, and everything's it's all got a little bit better for you. I'm never going to deep fry again. I have found ways around all of it. And so I look at the way I ate and the way I lived, and it just breaks my heart.
You're making me hungry, Sarah. I'm wanting to try one of your food items, but I love that because I think so many people are looking for just one magic fix, and they want one diet or one supplement or one workout or one biohack that changes everything. But usually real healing and real wellness comes from stacking simple habits consistently: better food, better sleep, better digestion, better stress management, better recovery, and better self-awareness. And that leads me into something that you talk about that I really like. You say that you bridge the gap between discipline and nourishment. And that's powerful because, especially for people in fitness, discipline gets celebrated a lot in the fitness industry, and discipline is important. But sometimes what people call discipline is actually restriction. Sometimes it's punishment. Sometimes it's ignoring their body. Sometimes it's pushing harder when their body is begging for support. So when you say the bridge, the gap, Yeah. What does that mean to you between the gap of discipline and nourishment in your eyes?
So, I mean, I think about when I was at my thinnest and not healthiest, but when, I looked the best or what, not even, I don't want to say that, but I think about a time when I watched every calorie that I ate, was at the gym every day, was like really unhappy inside. I didn't have any joy in my everyday anymore. It was all about tracking my calories. It was all about what the scale said. It was all about my body. And for me, it wasn't a healthy way for me to live. It wasn't emotionally fulfilling as someone who loves to get my hands dirty in the kitchen and really finds passion in food. I am a live to eat, not an eat to live kind of woman. Like every meal is exciting for me. And so,
Nice.
I did an elimination diet back in 2019, 2020, and I really found the bridging of the gap. I found what foods worked for me, what foods didn't work for me. I found what foods gave me joy. And honestly, it's still evolving. Some days I learn I can't eat a food that used to make my body really happy. And I'm like, I'll do research. I'm like, oh my God, it is this that I've been eating for the last month, even if I've been eating it and I just switch it with something else. So we're evolving. We're all evolving between hormones and aging and all of it. Our bodies, we just have to listen to ourselves. And I know people are going to laugh at me, but I always tell people to be more selfish. Like, take care of you, put you first. Like, your kids will thank you, your spouses will thank you, your whole family. Like, once you actually, people are like, no, I can't do that. But just be more selfish.
Nice.
What's your body saying? Don't make yourself dinner that the whole family wants if you know your body's not going to like it. Like, take an extra 10 minutes. It's not that hard when you actually start implementing little things, and the joy that you find when you're not eating what everyone else wants to eat and you're feeding yourself like what your body's craving and not what your taste buds are craving, but really learning to listen to your internal compass and what makes me feel alive after I eat it and what puts me to sleep after.
Yes, I love it. And there's a big difference between, being committed to your goals and being disconnected from your body. And, you can want to get stronger and still nourish yourself. You can want to lose body fat and still eat enough. And you can care about your performance and still enjoy your food, right? You can have discipline without making food feel like a prison sentence. And from your perspective, why do you think so many people in fitness are underfueled?
Because it's easier. It's easier to grab a shake and go. I think that there's a lot of pressure too on calories, counting macros. I think that personally, I have recently started up in the gym again. I used to be less gymmy, and I've just noticed my body's been craving the movement, the everyday ritual, and I listen to my body. So I'm back in the gym, and I find it harder to have lunch on time because that's usually when I end up in the gym. And if I didn't cancel this or not do this and prioritize myself, like today I was inhaling a burrito right before the call. It was like a vegetarian burrito that I got, and it's good food. It's not greasy. I know the places to go, and I wouldn't go to the place that has the burrito that makes me feel sick.
Yes, lethargic, and your stomach is like making noises for 2 hours.
Yes, in the afternoon, I wouldn't get one filled with beef, or there's things that I listen to my body. I know what I can process. I don't fight it. I don't try and make myself eat things that I don't want to eat. Because I think that's another problem is there's fatigue when you eat chicken and rice and broccoli for every single meal. And it's just microwave it and take it out and microwave it and take it out. And you become a machine. And that's beautiful, because it does get rid of decision fatigue and certain things. But I also think that people get very tired of it. And I worked for a football player for a weekend, anyway, I worked for him all weekend for a private chefing thing, and getting protein and flavor into the meals and not just doing your typical salmon and rice, chicken and rice, salmon and rice, veggie was huge. And so I was finding baked corn chips and making him breakfast nachos with eggs and corn chips and organic black beans and avocado. And, that's just, he was eating that on the way to the gym as his protein fuel instead of some freaking protein bar. It takes a little more time, but your happiness should come
I need some of that because I'm like down in protein shakes all day because I'm on the go. I would love to
Yeah.
have you as my private chef. Come on down and we'll bring you out here. And that's huge. And for the fitness coaches listening, this is such an important thing to pay attention to with your own clients, because sometimes the client doesn't need, always a harder workout. Sometimes they don't always need to lower their calories. Sometimes they don't need another meal plan that makes them feel deprived. And sometimes they need more nourishment and like more real food and more education and more recovery and more permission to actually fuel their bodies. What are some signs that you know of that someone might be underfueled or not even nourishing themselves?
I personally, pain. Pain is a big one. If you don't have enough, protein, but not just protein, carbs, fats, everything to fuel your body, especially through a tough workout, you're going to hurt more. So like, I know that if I'm hurting more after a workout, I look at what I ate earlier in the day. I look at what I ate the night before, and it usually lines up with, oh, you were surviving on carbs or something. So I definitely feel that like properly eating enough and the right food, like eggs are always a quick go-to protein for me. People villainized them for so long, but I don't know. A lot of y'all eat them raw though, and that one freaks me out.
I wouldn't eat a raw egg, man. I'm not Rocky. I used to watch the Rocky shows and see him doing that in the blender. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to get salmonella and go in the hospital. But I think this also applies to clients, and also not just clients, but also fitness coaches and other entrepreneurs, because a lot of coaches are building businesses while they're running on fumes, and they're serving clients and they're posting content and they're taking calls and they're trying to stay in shape themselves and managing family and stress and fitness and life and finances. If they're not nourishing themselves, eventually it starts to show up in their energy, in their patience, in their moods, in their creativity, and their consistency. So what advice would you give to the coach or high performer entrepreneur who is constantly pouring into everyone else, but not taking great care of themselves? I know you said put yourself first, but I'll let you say whatever you got to say.
No, I'm struggling with this one right now myself as like an entrepreneur who's juggling 20 balls in the air. Like I have made it a priority recently because for a few months there, I forgot. I was not practicing what I preach. I was missing lunches. I was having dinner at 10 p.m. because I was just going until I hit a wall and I was like, oh, I need fuel. And then it's like whatever you can get in fast. And so now I really I'm making sure I ate 3 meals. It's really just waking up in the morning and prioritizing. And I know that if I don't have foods that I enjoy, that my body can do, and I know I need quick fixes too in that refrigerator. So like I make sourdough protein pancakes, and I'll always have batter in the fridge because I had a waffle this morning for breakfast. It was amazing. You put fruit on top, they're so good, but I always have the batter, and then I always have some pre-made pancakes in there. So like for breakfast, nice. I know if I don't feel like making a big breakfast, I always have something in there. And if I run out of that's one of my meal prep things. Like I know that works for me. That's a breakfast that I can always get in, keeps me fueled. I'm like full to lunch. So boom, that's find things that work for you. And I know I will get sick of that. And so I'll have, I like variety, but the moral of the story is just have the quick fixes. Don't depend on the granola bars and the protein bars and whatever those things are. If you can't pronounce the ingredients, I just don't think we should putting it in our body.
Yeah.
Like you can leave one of those out in an ant pit and they're not going to touch it. I'm like, if the bugs aren't going to eat it,
real ingredients, real foods. You got to be able to pronounce everything in there. Otherwise, it's probably something that was, made of plastic at one point. They just regurgitated into food. But let's talk about real food, because eat whole foods, right? That sounds simple, but for a lot of people, it can feel overwhelming. They don't know what to buy, how to cook, how to make food taste good, or what advice to trust. One person says carbs are bad. Another one says fat is bad. Another one says fasting is the answer. Another says you need to track everything. It's no wonder that people are confused. So when you talk about real food and nourishment, what does that look like in real life for the busy mom, entrepreneur, fitness coach, the person who wants to feel better, but not always want to spend their whole life in the kitchen?
Yes. Okay, I love this. So there are a bunch of meal prep delivery places now in every single neighborhood that will make this easy for you with Whole Foods. Yes, it's going to cost a little bit more than the ones with I don't know. I live in San Diego. We live in Southern California. I know New York will have it. I know all the major, I'm sure you can find it anywhere. I shouldn't say that though. I don't know. Yeah. And then second of all of that is true. Too much of the wrong fat, horrible. Too much of the wrong carbs, horrible. Like too much eating and not paying attention, all of that is true. And that's why it gets so overwhelming, because you just hear restriction, 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 instead of hearing, well, the right fats are really good. So like eat as much avocado, salmon, like pack things in. And those are two things. Like when I am running out the door, I always have fruit and avocados, because it is so easy to cut an avocado in half with a spoon and just literally eat it while I'm walking to my car. And you feel it. Like you feel when you eat certain foods, you can feel them affect your mood. You can feel them affect your body. You know that you have the right energy in you. Whereas if I grab French fries, that would have taken me probably a little bit longer to get from the drive-thru. I would have felt like crap afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So it's like you keep fruit, veggies. I love putting salt on them. I know some people like putting chili peppers on some things, or you just find what works for you. And these natural foods I know it sounds
putting salsa on everything because there's like almost no calories and it just gives it different taste. I remember when I used to prep and compete, like I would have kind of simple foods, but I would just make them all taste better because I'd have all these different type of salsas and Mrs. Dashes. And I would try to, make protein pancakes and protein waffles and protein ice cream and all that stuff. And everybody's like, you can eat that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like if you look at like what I put in here, it's like all good stuff.
Tom Brady makes an ice cream with avocado and like whole cacao.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of some stuff in there. Like you can do a lot of stuff with avocado. And I think simplicity is what people need. Like most people don't need a more complicated plan. They need something they can actually repeat. And they need real simple meals with better ingredients and a better understanding of how foods make them feel. Now I want to talk about Bake Love to Me, because your brand is really unique. You're not just saying like healthy baked goods. You've created this kind of luxury meets wellness experience. It's elevated. It's beautiful. It feels indulgent. So how did Bake Love to Me come to life? And when did you realize that this was bigger than just baking?
So I was planning on going to the Culinary Institute of America. Goes by the CIA. It's one of the best schools in the world. I got in, I was talking to them about the dorms. I was working 9 to 5 as a office manager and recruiter for like Berkshire Hathaway. And I was gonna quit and go. And I had like 2 months left. And I was like, okay, I had this whole game plan. And then I got laid off.
Wow.
And it was like, there were like few thousand of us that got laid off in one day. So but I took the severance literally the next day. I woke up like a fever dream in the middle of the night, got to open Bake Love to Me. We don't need to do culinary school. Let's just full steam ahead. And so I took my severance and I started my LLC and I started the trademark journey and all of that. I started a business and I had no idea what I was doing. And I've just watched it transform and it's been so I was in the farmers markets for like 9 months making naturally sweetened baked goods. So I used a lot of coconut sugar, monk fruit sweetener, maple syrup, like no refined sugar, never. Mm-hmm. And then that wasn't really, it's just been, right now I'm doing a lot of private chef work, mostly less baking. I've actually been working on a wedding cake all day though, so I shouldn't say.
Well, okay. That's cool. Yeah. And I know you're doing a lot of sourdough stuff. And a lot of people have heard that sourdough might be easier to digest than like fermented foods that can support your gut health, but they don't really understand why. Can you explain in a simple way what makes a properly fermented sourdough different from like the bread that most people are used to?
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. So yeast in most of your store-bought bread, that bread is made in like 4 or 5 hours. It's usually the flour has bromide or bleaching, or it's not. A lot of the breads you're going to get on the shelf are not great. And the fact that the yeast rises so fast, the gluten has no time to break down. Whereas sourdough, the gluten, because it's minimum 24 hours on your average loaf, 24 to 48 plus hours. And at that time, yeast from the natural yeast from the air and the fermentation process is breaking down the gluten in a way that makes it easier for our bodies to not just process it, but hold on to the energy from it longer.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, so it keeps us full longer. It's not gonna do that bloat, like our stomach acid likes it because the yeast has been broken down.
That's such a helpful explanation, though. And I think this is where people need more education instead of more fear, because sometimes people react poorly to low quality, ultra processed versions of food, and they assume the entire food category is the problem. They eat heavily processed bread and they feel terrible. And then they think all bread is bad. And they eat low quality sweets and they feel all inflamed. Then they think like indulgence is bad. But sometimes the issue is not the category itself. It's the quality, it's the ingredients, it's the preparation, it's the amount, it's the context. So when someone says bread is bad for me or I can't eat carbs, what do you usually say to help them think differently?
So I really do talk to people because I do have a gluten-free line. So I do things gluten-free. I haven't figured out bread yet. It's the difference between having celiacs and having gluten intolerance. And if you have celiacs, do not eat sourdough. It's not going to work for you. Stay away from all of it. Like, I'm not going to argue with someone that says, no, I've been diagnosed with celiacs. But the people that go exactly what you said, well, I have a gluten intolerance. I get bread from the store and it's never worked. I eat pizza from Domino's and it makes me feel horrible, blah, 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 blah. Them, I'm like, try sourdough. Just try a little bit when you're, when you have a day to see if it'll work. It's a lot of this. So I just want to back up a second. A lot of the flours in our breads that are commercially processed have poisons, pesticides. I feel like I sound a little like a crazy lady, but for realsies, it's our country does a lot of stuff to our flours so that it doesn't go bad, because most flours actually go bad pretty fast. Like, we all have them on our shelves for years and think that's normal. It is not how it's supposed to be. Flour is supposed to spoil. It is supposed to go bad. And the fact that we can have a loaf of bread on our counter for a month and it still look like the Wonder Bread that it was a month ago is not how it's supposed to work. So I tell people to find artisan bakers that don't use flours that are your ingredients matter. Not using bromide, not using bleaching, making sure it's pesticide free, making sure it's organic. All these things actually do matter. And I just speak from personal experience and eating the difference and watching what my body does. I look pregnant if I eat a normal hamburger bun or something, but if I make it from sourdough, it's that big of a difference. And so I tell people that say, I can't eat blah, blah, blah. Well, where are you sourcing it? And please give it a try from the right place. Just give it a try.
What do you think about the Ezekiel, the sprouted grain? Because one bread that I really like is the cinnamon raisin Ezekiel bread. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
I haven't
killer.
tried it.
Oh, and it's all sprouted grains. There's no flours.
I know.
There's no refined.
Ezekiel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The cinnamon raisin one's good. Really
yes.
good.
I totally am a supporter of them. It's not bread because I bake and because I know sourdough works for me and I know yada yada yada.
Yeah,
that's not something I buy, but there are brands like Ezekiel that I totally would support.
Cool.
Do support.
Yeah, and that's really helpful too. For a lot of people that are dealing with all the intolerances and also the blood sugar level spikes and things like that. Like, these sprouted grains are gonna literally keep that to a minimum. But now I want to shift into the mindset piece, because your story is not just about nutrition. It also goes into rebuilding yourself. So when you go through serious health challenges and then you rebuild your life and that changes you, it changes your identity and your priorities and your discipline and your patience and your self-trust and even your definition of success. So what did your healing journey actually teach you about your mindset?
It taught me that I am a strong woman.
You're a bad mofo. You're a bad bougie girl.
Yeah. When enough doctors tell you, how is this a thing? Why? And I'm like, I realized that, and I honestly believe that we all have this strength in us and that just a lot of us aren't tested to that limit in certain ways. And a lot of us get tested in different ways. And I think it's just beautiful to acknowledge when that happens instead of life crumbled. Look how strong I am.
Yeah.
Look at I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Because, it's easy to get down and depressed and give up, but that's not human. That's not really who we are. We fight to survive. We want to live.
Yeah, that's powerful, because I think a lot of people also think that mindset just means positive, but real mindset is deeper than that. It's self-trust. It's learning to trust your body, and it's learning to stop abandoning yourself, and it's learning how to support yourself instead of constantly beating yourself into action. And I think that connects so well to the message of nourishment over punishment. So how do you help people move out of burnout and then into a more sustainable way of actually taking care of themselves?
Well, I mean, the goal is so one of the things I love about sourdough and teaching sourdough is that it slows you down. Mm-hmm. You have to learn. It is such a silly thing. You are taking care of flour and water like it is a life form, because it is. And you are feeding it flour and water, and it is bubbling up at you, and you see when it gets sad, and you see when it's happy, and you name it, because everyone names their starter, and you get attached to it and you learn. Sourdough helped me slow down. You can't argue with the clock. Like, if it's time to fold the dough, it's time to fold the dough. And it teaches you patience, because you're going to screw up for a bit. Yeah. And it's still going to be delicious. And it teaches you how to take your accidents and make them happy little accidents. Like, I got so good at croutons after my first few months of bad breads.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's about trusting yourself and learning to feed yourself and slowing down at least once a week to make the bread and the pasta and whatever it is, and feeling your food under your hands. And it's shocking how little time it actually takes when you start doing it, and how for me, I should speak for me. I get grounded. I feel at one, and then I'm eating what I made all week. Like, there's pasta. I usually do Thursday or Friday. I'll make sourdough pasta. I'll make some raviolis. I'll make a bread. I'll make bagels. I get pizza dough going.
Making me hungry again.
It's my job. But yeah, no, it's like I set myself up for success. I put that time aside, and then I feel a deeper connection to my food throughout the week. I feel a deeper love for myself, that I'm nourishing myself, and that I took these flours and I know exactly what's going into my body.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff.
That's a great lesson. Yeah. And also, obviously, you built your brand and you built your business, but because a brand is not just a logo or colors or fonts, right? It's the feeling that people get. It's what they remember. It's what they associate with you. It's the standards and the message and the energy and the whole experience. So for the coaches that are listening, that definitely matters. And if you're not, or if you are another, fat loss coach, or another online trainer, or another nutrition coach, or another person that's posting random tips, it's going to be hard to stand out. But when your brand has a clear message, and I know we're kind of shifting to branding, and it has like a belief system, and it has a specific feeling, people remember you. So what advice would you give to fitness coaches or wellness entrepreneurs who want to build a brand that feels different, instead of, like blending in with what everybody else is actually, doing?
You're not going to like it. You really can't go with the flow. Like, if you are doing something and you believe in it, like, I really am passionate about no refined sugar. Mm-hmm. I really believe that sugar is an addictive substance. I see the amount of diabetes climbing in I just see, it makes cancer grow. Like, I can't get over how bad sugar is for us, and how we have these beautiful substitutes that actually taste better. Yeah. And if you learn to use them proper, it's so, sorry, I got a little off.
We're good. Yeah.
So when I went to the farmers markets I did it for 9 months. And for 9 months, I had people telling me, I want refined sugar. I don't like organic. Who gives a shit? Like, I got more hate for the fact people took offense that I wasn't using refined sugar. I wouldn't even talk to them. I just had it on my sign that these are my treats, and they felt a need to come up to me and tell me that I was the problem. I'm just trying to help y'all.
Yeah.
And I didn't pivot. It would have been really freaking easy to start putting white sugar. It would have been cheaper, easier. Like, there's so many, there was the devil on my shoulder that was like, just switch it, Goldstein. They want it. The people want it. But I made clients through all of that still call me up for their birthday cakes, their wedding cakes, their anniversaries, their children's birthdays, like private chef work. If they have a dinner party, they think of me, because when I found the people that wanted me, they were really pissed when I stopped the farmers market. Yeah. Like, I have a whole following of diabetic clients that believe in I had one woman come up to me after a market one week and just start crying. And she said, I never thought I'd be able to eat anything like this again. My blood sugar didn't spike. I just, please, like, she was so grateful. And there were so many people, similar stories to that. So people don't even know what's out there. We don't know that we can do it. And then there's so much that's going to go against you. And if you just don't listen to that, it's harder. The money might be slower, but it comes like, it's just, if you want to build a brand instead of just, if you want to be remembered, in my opinion, stand by your freaking values and your morals and don't bend, even though it's so tempting. I gotta admit, like, there's been so many times where I was like, oh, I could do that and it would be easier, or that and it would be easier. But I'm stubborn and I'm going to keep doing this and it's working. So
I love it. Yeah. Stand by your morals and go for it. Like, stand by what you stand for. And that will also, like, push the wrong people away who aren't going to be fit. And it's okay. Like, you don't have to be a fit for everybody. No. And
there's billions of people. You'll be fine. Just
get
the dirt off your shoulder. The trash takes itself out.
Yeah, you'll build your own tribe. Trust me on that. And before we start to wrap up, I want to ask a few final questions. What is one belief about food, about health, or about wellness that you wish that more people would let go of?
Thank you. The whole calorie counting thing. Like, I mean, okay, to an extent, sure. But for the most part, it's actually slowing you down. And it drives me bonkers. I went to find a personal trainer and I couldn't find one that really didn't want me stepping on a scale every day. And for me, I have literally learned this. That makes my anxiety goes up, which then makes my cortisol go up. And the second that's up, the pounds just start coming. No matter how little I eat, I can be a calorie deficit for months. And I am going to be gaining weight if you make me pay attention to every macro, micro calorie. And I think so many women, I think that I don't know men, but I do feel like it works almost better for you guys because we got crazy hormones that are always, we need different fuel at different times. And I think it's really important, more important, to listen to our bodies and be full when we're full and to eat what our bodies are telling us to eat and really properly nourish ourselves. And again, not our taste buds, but our bodies. Yes. Because it takes a minute. Our taste buds take a while to catch up. I will admit, you'll be craving that McDonald's for a few months, but then one day you never get the craving again.
Yeah, I found out it takes about 2 weeks. Like when you start eating clean, about 2 weeks, you lose all your cravings and then you don't even crave it anymore. And then as soon as you start having like cupcakes or something, then you start to crave it again. But if you just keep it out, like you don't crave it. Next question. What is one belief that you wish more people would embrace?
One belief. Get outside. I think that's not enough of us get outside, and it is so good for our mental health, physical health. Like I'm guilty of it. I'll go to the gym and be like, oh, I'm done. But no, you should go to the beach and take a little walk. Like it's not we get so caught up on doing things for our physical health and moving for our physical health that we forget that these things also can, help up here, which then also helps down like everything else.
Yes.
So not enough people spend time outside. It's wild to me how we live in front of our TVs. And I did it. I was guilty of it. And I was so unhappy.
I have to get out because I'm in doing this a lot of the time. I'll take my dog out and we'll go for walks. Yeah. And it recharges the batteries. It makes me feel good, puts me in a great mood. Okay, next question. What is one simple habit that somebody listening could start this week to feel more nourished, more energized, and more supported?
Go outside.
All right. And for the coaches listening, what's one thing they can do to help their clients build a better relationship with food?
Oh, I love this. One thing I would honestly say that the big fear, I know when I was bigger and scared and didn't know how to lose it and was seeing personal trainers and coaches and whatnot, and nothing was working. Like my biggest fear was I really didn't want to give up the foods that I loved. I wasn't, it was almost, and so to reassure your clients that it's not just chicken and rice and that there are recipes and that working with your clients to find food that satiates them in every way, because it exists. I promise you it exists. Like there's a way to do it. That's I promise you. Email me. I will figure out a way with you to do it. And yeah, I think that takes a lot of pressure off when you know that you can go to the gym and go home to chicken parm and not feel guilty about it, or go home, whatever it is, pizza, sourdough pizza there's cheeses, and it really takes the pressure off and it makes life more enjoyable again.
Not have to eat chicken and broccoli every single meal. So Sara, this has been awesome. I love this message because so many people are trying to force results by doing more, eating less, and pushing 10 times harder. But What you're reminding us is that true wellness and performers can actually come from nourishment, not punishment. And when you fuel your body with food and you support your nervous system and you build habits that actually fit your life, you create energy and confidence and consistency that no crash diet or extreme routine can replicate. And I think that's such an important reminder for fitness professionals too, because if we want to help clients get real results, we can't just look at workouts and macros. We have to look at the whole person, their food, their stress, their sleep, their mindset, their relationship with their body, their ability to stay consistent in real life. That's where the transformation happens. And before we close, where can people connect with you, learn more about Bake Love to Me, and check out your sourdough masterclass?
Thank you. So you can find the masterclass and most information on my website, www.bakelovetome.com. And you can find my Instagram because we're having fun there. It's bake_LUV_2_me. There's a little old grandmother that has Bake Love to Me, and I don't have the heart, even though it's mine. It's a registered trademark. I don't have the heart. She can have it.
Okay. And Sara, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your story, your message, and the way that you're helping people see wellness through a different lens. And everyone listening, make sure you connect with Sara. Check out what she's doing with Bake Love to Me. Remember, your health should support your life. It should give you more energy, more confidence, more capacity, and ultimately more joy. It should not steal all the fun from it. And thanks so much for tuning in to the FitBiz Accelerator Podcast. And I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the FitBiz Accelerator. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a tip or strategy to grow your online fitness business. And if you're ready to fast track your success, don't forget to check out tntfitprocoaching.com. Until next time, stay consistent, stay focused, and keep crushing it.